Does it tell you who's waiting, the name, or it just says viewer?
It just says that there's a viewer waiting.
Huh? Already?
So, and it shows me how many viewers we've got. Right now, we've got one viewer. I asked her about that and she said, no, turn the chat off. So she said she's got her own forum. She wants them sent in to her phone, which is good. You know, it don't have them coming in everywhere. People focus and go to one place. That's better. That's the best way.
They can text, they can email.
Yep, all to her phone, right? So, and I think she said she was just gonna hand the phone over to you. I think, I'm not really sure how that's gonna work.
Questions out now.
So, okay, I've got where are we? Okay, we're not too worried about seeing Gord,
No.
but we wanna definitely see this one. Let's make sure I know which one it is.
After, if you want to do it,
There we go.
If they're using
Okay,
that for the public,
yeah,
that's the one. These ones are, they're all keep their own mics
yeah, so would you?
until after that one.
Awesome. Oh, so you want me to like that, like down
Each person.
with the last lives? No, that's for you.
so like I said, just so you're aware, we are streaming now. I've just started the stream. So I'll let Sharon know so that she can be aware. Okay.
So, after every person goes up there, like, are we gonna have, there's just gonna be one person on the screen, right?
Yes.
And we come up to ask questions for one person at a time.
I believe so. You have to check it, Sharon.
Yeah.
I'm just setting up streaming. Charles is setting up audio.
And I don't, I wonder if we need that tape. Like, if there's gonna be a big lineup for people asking questions or like.
I don't know. Setting up streaming. All those questions at Jan
Yeah.
or at Sharon. Charles is in charge of the audio.
I just haven't been to a bar before. So
Me neither. I'm just lost in that.
yeah.
And I know that this is Sharon's thing, so I don't want to step on her toes, so we run it by her.
Maybe we do need to.
Oh, I think you were exactly right, but let's ask them, they're in charge, so Anne's right there.
Does anybody have a measuring tape? For the 6 feet, where you want to lay down?
In my truck, I do,
I'll just.
but my truck is out here.
No, you're right, it's Sharon's show. I don't get why she doesn't have comments come in online. I don't get why people can't ask questions. She said she wanted to have her.
It's not her show, people have their own questions, they can. Somebody's in this room, they shouldn't have to phone share, cell, or email share, they should be able to want to.
No, we're gonna have right now.
There is no questions written down anywhere at this point.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, people should be able to ask their own questions.
Yeah. I don't have questions, somebody says something. So I don't actually
What's it worth? I just never said. No,
Honestly, in all transparency, there should be comments coming in there. And there should be teleconference set up by you. And, because not everyone has internet out there. Not everyone has a cell phone. They call land. And they call,
it didn't come in before.
And I mean, this year, there's 35, not these 60 chairs that were set up there. I think Sharon said she was on the board, she's going to.
she was saying down at the Heritage. So right now, you're gonna have it outside at the Heritage at 100.
Yeah, she sort of told me. She said, it's too bad, I'm not soon, or, you know what I mean, on like that. And, which is the same thing. It's a bit more free.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't follow that, because at the last GC, they had Zoom. And the speaker, Bob, had the computer in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, we have a question online, how for this person, blah, blah, blah. All
I know.
honesty, this needs to be as transparent, like transparent.
Like they could have actually asked questions. We just needed all of their notes.
Yeah.
So, but when Wayne wanted to speak, he spoke. So, great job on the front seals. So close to getting, there's so much involved. Trying to tie in Zoom
Yeah.
with our.
But this, right?
No, with our WebEx. Zoom is the most unsafe program going. And driving crazy. Yeah. DJ and I could accommodate Zoom. Okay, but when we do it, we're cutting everybody off at work, we were actually doing this, we were doing this, we were this, and making it, who is 3 arm lengths away from TTC, right? And because DJ is so freaking smart, there is no other way of linking it in, he figured out how to make time seeds, how to actually link in Zoom with our existing WebEx program. $10,000 system. Anyway, and this third company that was recommended to us, they couldn't figure it out, and they were gonna do it a totally different way, and they said, oh, well, we can do it, but when we do it, there's gonna be like a delay on here, on that side, and then there's gonna be a delay over here, and then there's gonna be another delay here, and what we have to do is complicated, but we're basically taking our live feed and copy. And then send it. So when they did the copy, that was causing the delay,
Yeah.
right? Long story short, way that you figured it out, over it, right there. And then we have a lot more control. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because my knee was sore and everything.
Were you guys in college?
I know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's only
Yeah, as we work,
23
it's
this morning.
Yeah, and it works for a lot of people, but you don't want to.
We're just in the process of moving.
The hot shot, and no, shot.
Just let it roll.
No, hot shot. No, shot. No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the hornet down, shot on the base, that's like.
Or we have some of those quits.
Yeah, you still want to.
No, you just, I think.
There's some of them
Sanitize.
paid over there.
Wipes. Sanitize.
Oh, you're gonna have to figure something out for every time it's on the seats. Right?
There's 20 teams that are there and stuff. I think if I spray it, then I might grab it.
Oh, you can spray your cloth
Oh, what if it might?
and then what,
Yeah. You bring wipes there.
Yeah, there's white stuff.
Wipes.
Ready to fill it in then?
We're already streaming live.
Are you?
Yep,
They can't hear me.
they can hear absolutely everything that is going on here right now.
Hello?
And we had, I think, 3 viewers when I walked away.
Yeah? How can you tell? To me. Oh, on your computer.
Yep, on the computer is where we see it.
So I would just.
But don't bump the table.
No.
So we've been live for 12 minutes. We've got 4 viewers now. So, and this is what they're seeing.
Okay.
They're seeing Charles knit. And we've got the mic on. This will show me the volume, so it will get louder once we actually, start speaking. We'll see this go up and down. Anyway, I figured it was safer to start the stream now and people can just log on and it's going.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's the easiest way.
So you're gonna integrate that or is that?
I can't stop it.
That's good to know. Where do you live?
I don't know, maybe I'm just asking.
Well, where do you, well, it's your job here.
No, I jumped here, yeah, I
Oh,
just.
Sharon wanted me to write the.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm trying to keep my.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can sit with me in there if you want, and then every time somebody. Okay. Sure. I need a break.
Yeah. So the question people, is back here, I know, if they want to bring that question.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3. Linda, you're gonna be here the entire time?
Yes.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6. Oh, she has to.
Okay.
But I can actually step out. You don't really need to be there. I'll watch the numbers. And so just so you may order the camera and you are not in at all.
Awesome.
Well, it's not about you.
No, it isn't.
No, I figured it was better just to be focused in on them. We don't even unfortunately see the mic,
Yeah.
which I don't want to be moving that. If I can literally leave that and set up.
is that on?
Absolutely, me too. I cannot see that working.
So it's like,
Same with them. They're on time. Have to direct
We're gonna sit on tomorrow.
Honestly, I wish this was better. I wish they were even, because then I can see who wants to speak.
Oh, yeah, that's, should be back here.
But here,
Oh.
oh, this is a good 30. Good 30.
Yeah.
Are you doing?
Good yourself? Good yourself? How's your shoulder?
Sore. And from home got, man. Stay.
Yeah. Do they check any Facebooks or how do they get into
I posted it on Facebook. I posted it on,
Okay.
And then check,
YouTube.
yeah, I posted it on the Facebook group. I posted it on my Facebook page. The whole, Sunday, I was gonna grab my social and share it around. She's friends with you. You're right on Facebook.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, that's all you gotta do is just log our Facebook.
I'm good too, it's just some people on my doors and comments.
so that brings up the question. Brothers in car. They're responsible.
As far as I talk, I'm not receiving this stream anyway, so even if anybody misses it, they can still go watch it. That is my understanding. I haven't checked with Sharon, but that would make no sense.
Totally, it's history, right?
Right? Well, you can see there's no election.
Yeah. It'll be pretty hard for you, eh?
It's on our action.
It's everywhere.
Awesome.
The other way.
Good to see you. Awesome. I don't know. No, come on, just talk.
If you want to do that,
How many actions? That's but they go to.
So you guys know that you guys can all share it, right? Because I'm streaming it on YouTube, I posted it on Facebook, the latest. You can always share it with people.
Because they go.
I wanna listen.
Seen that picture?
Sweet notes. Sounds sweet notes. What's that? Look at
I don't know. I think they said they wanted it to go away. I don't think it matters where they sit. I think it's who speaks first.
Hello, everyone. Is this all assigned seating here? Hi. Uncle Bobby. Oh, wow. You want my name up here?
I guess we're going to see Jim whether he's here on the ballot. I'm seeing the name here on the ballot. Order, like that.
Hi.
Yeah.
Teslin. I'll be seeing you next week here too. We're at the Guadalupe. Oh, the post is at the Guadalupe. On another. Well, they say post. They need to make a, which one, they need to pick one. We're gonna have people at both stations then. It's young, Mr. Mayor?
Hey.
For a sunny day, I hope we get some more people here, you know, raining for 3 months. But
Summer is finally here, right, ready for fall.
oh, nice dedicated souls here. Look at that. Oh, it is what it is. You know, this is great with the cold issues that are happening. I suppose it's gonna be right on the back. I'll go ahead in. Oh, it's not really down there, it's down. You know, or I didn't really see it. It's all the clean air, that's the heat in there. Just an evening, eh? Yeah. Oh, hey, you know, I've been here for years. Years, and it's so fast. You have to try to stay fast, stay faster. You know, we're too lazy, you know, we need to push it up in.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy Yeah.
You're next.
So I just sat wherever.
You're on camera, you're on camera. So just so you know.
Mark's here. I don't
Okay. No loss. Where do you want to here? Downtown?
Oh, I was sick tonight. All the posters are all saying different things. I got one poster that says we're on 6 till 9. Then I got another poster that says 6 to 8. I got another poster that says we're 1 o'clock. I got another poster that says we're not 9. No.
So, yeah, just whatever your attention, we're going to start off, in 5 minutes, to kind of give an overview. Wherever you want, 5 minutes, we're going to go over the here. Then we're going to have questions, especially when we're going to text and email to share. Other questions? We're using this.
You're gonna run the clock every time.
Yeah. And, if you respond, I'm not sure what we're doing, question, I may just, start out and go together. What do you guys want to do? We just want to go randomly.
Well, some of the questions are gonna be for individuals, some are gonna be for the entire.
Yeah, so I don't know.
You can kind of meet him as over here. Take a walk. Answer.
However you set it up to cross.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I'm so much about
Haven't worn a watch since 1999. I was always on the go. Tick, 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 tick. And my son, old school, he was over here all the way to the and I had to ask him. So I took it off and I no more time. And ever since then, I never was hard to add to the page because I have a I sure can.
Did you share it on Facebook? Right away. What else do you want to say? My son already was running for chief.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anymore. It's more just to get it out so that your friends
But at least
see
this
this
is.
link and they can hopefully, there you go, post it. Okay, how do you do that?
That rain yesterday, so. They kicked the puppy. The main board from the bottom. They cut over your shirt. And then had on the bottom, and then crawled from the top.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Thank you very much.
You have your phone on silent, right? How to do that?
Did you find
I turned it just up and down, that's the bulb. Not really the way I wanted it.
Sure, I can see it.
Nothing. Yeah. Only does like a speaker and stuff like that.
All he's gotta do is tune into YouTube.
I'm not a politician.
Good. Yep. Good.
Well, yeah, you know, you're running for office. And then you bet. You bet.
All I know what to say. What? Who? You've already done it. We have to do a quick done. Okay.
The food's ready. Come back. That's the place you're gonna take it.
Was there anybody that you wanted to send it to? Jason? That's the thing, that helps me that you're getting done. So we need to still find your phone. What I did.
How to turn you. Are you expecting any tests or anything? Can we just put your thing on airplane mode and be done with it?
Okay.
See, on mine, I can turn it off.
Yeah?
I don't know how to, I'll keep playing with it.
Motion button.
There we go, silent mode.
Oh,
Okay, so it is up in there.
I know, I know.
Oh, you don't know how to check the voice. So we've got 14 viewers right now. Yeah. So they see from your chair, they don't see Gordon currently. He's not important. He was quite happy. How awesome. Did you want to play the food? Mother? We can share a plate. Just in case you're curious. Just in case. Oh. We know.
I haven't been.
I should have a piece of paper, show them how many viewers we have online.
Is anybody gonna come? Been waiting for 3 months, back down, you know, so you can do back down. But I had to do this.
If you want coffee or tea,
I have to stay over this.
Jay will serve you, but you have to come up and tell when you want it. Your water here. Okay?
Oh, I think that's a lot. I have to stay out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Faster. My top shelf, down the staff. And trying to get I avoid. Shot 20 there. So I just did. Scored it once.
We're gonna get going shortly, just, again, coffee and food and water. Of course, you have to help yourself. We will get going shortly. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the whole tree. It's been years, it's been back there.
Hey, would you guys know how many viewers you have online? That just goes on.
Well, that was, and that's good information.
There were 16. So if you like, I can be just like NASCAR, I can write a number. That way I'm not talking and then you guys can actually see, hey,
Yeah, that's interesting.
and hopefully for the next one.
Well, yep. Do you know who's online?
No.
You just said a number.
I'm not. Good deal.
We ain't going in public.
Not gonna do other. Treat too.
Make sure you tell Eric. Tell Eric, he missed it.
Oh, I'm just gonna write down once in a while. So,
Your number on there?
Yeah, I didn't put a number on yet.
well, yeah, who's be on me? Oh, yeah. Interesting. 18. Hey, that's one more.
Honey, I won't do it like that, just so you guys know. Oh, we're waiting for Alex Oakley. That's what we're waiting for.
Oh, yeah. Montreal. I'm not over Montreal. They're doing quite well. Carrie, right?
He's waving at you, Teresa. When we go in next week, something in Michael. The whole reason I'm going in. That's the reason I have to go in. Because I have to do this again next week. And I was saying to these guys, I said, hopefully by next week, there'll be more people that are aware of this. because our numbers are dropping. We're down to 16.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Right there, you get there, yeah, all over that.
Pick up the valve here. People will see that they're actually doing stuff, so we're just waiting for Alex.
Sam there.
Oh, that's right, we're waiting for Sam as well.
Yeah, come in the door.
Welcome. Hello. Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone to the All Candidates Forum. I'd like to welcome everyone here at Whitehorse, or to Teslin, to the forum. And we've got a few housekeeping things, but I do know that Naklahash, you want to speak before we go too far tonight. Could I ask you to set up? You want to step, you want mic? All right. So, John? Good. Working, working. This one.
First of all, I just want to say welcome to each and every one of you. We're here on behalf of our First of all, I just want to say welcome to each and every one of you for showing up here. Because this is a very, very important gathering. Like what I said on the TV, we're here to support our government. If there's any questions, please feel free and be very respectful to each other. But all these people put their names forward on our behalf, so please be very careful what you say or whatever. Thank you very much.
So again, for those who don't know me, I think everyone does, but my name is Gord Kern. I am Mayor of Teslin. I'm very honored to be asked to moderate this forum. And this is the Lazy All Candidates Forum for Naha Shad Henny and Deputy Naha Shad Henny. I'll introduce the candidates shortly.
Sorry, I'll also be asked to say a prayer, so we all can stand, please. Kian when change started, when change which put the started, but I do the inches a clear, the fund up to see the chair about from the nature started. I intend to stay. Sean one started. There. Oh, I change put up again history and the state. I did the shot started again, Situvaji. I did say it's got the name when the chief started when the chief.
Thank you, Naklahash. Again, my name is Gord Kern. I was asked on behalf of the chief, by the Chief Electoral Officer, Sharon Shorty and her staff, Ann Turner, and Debbie Silverfox to assist with moderating this, and I'm really honored to do so. So again, welcome to the Teslin Forum. There will be one in Whitehorse on the 26th of August from 6 to 8 p.m. at Mount McIntyre. Just a reminder, before we are being live streamed. So if you see Linda set up over here, the camera's there, so people can join in and see what's happening. I'm not on camera, these fine gentlemen to my right are on camera. In terms of, if you want to participate, there will be, so how it's going to go today, we're going to start off with a 5-minute opening for every candidate, and we're going to work left to right. This is the order of the ballots, so that's how we chose that. And all candidates are going to have 5 minutes, sort of an opening, tell us why they're running and whatever else they want you to know about the platform. Then we're going to open up the floor to questions, and how that works. For those who are online or not here, because obviously we have COVID restrictions, they can send in their information they can text it to 867-384-002, or send an email to elections2020@ttc-teslin.com. And Sharon Shorty and her team will review the questions and give them to me to ask to the candidates. If you're here, you were asked if you have any questions when you come in. If you have questions that arise as we proceed, you can go up to the table and put your question down the way. Okay. So that's how we'll do questions. When we get to questions, it'll be 2 minutes. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to the question. Some questions will not be applied to all the candidates. So some are specific for the chief candidates and some for the deputy chief candidates. So that's how we're going to do tonight. At the end of the night, there'll be a 5-minute closing for each candidate, going from the far end, from Carl to Bob. And then that'll be at the end of the night. We're supposed to be here from 6 to 8. We need to go to 8:30, we'll go to 8:30. As long as we need, we like to be conscious of everyone's time. So, all right, so that's how we're going to do. Before we go too far, I'm just going to introduce the candidates because they can speak for themselves when they have their 5 minutes. We've got Robert McGill, or Bob McGill, Eric Morris, John Peters Jr., Todd Smarch. These gentlemen are running for Ganayashak Dehani. My apologies for that pronunciation. Then we have running for deputy, Carl Smarch. Alex Oakley is also running for deputy. Unfortunately, he had to go to Terrace for a family emergency. He's trying to make his way back, I understand, but obviously he hasn't had a chance to make it here, but he's also on the list. So for a little bit of housekeeping, we are serving coffee, and we just mentioned your coffee. There's some food here for you. So if you want, I'm just going to pick it up, and I think we'll just get going. So again, we're going to stop our clock. We'll put 5 minutes on, and candidates will be warned with 1 minute left. Right? I think everyone's familiar with the system from General Counsel. So this is how we're going to proceed, and I will ask that Mr. Robert McGill, take the floor is yours.
Yes, Chief. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Clock doesn't start yet, so I'll get pretty time here. Good evening, everyone. It's quite an honor to be up here in front of you this evening, and quite an honor to actually have my name on the ballot for the upcoming election for the Nashadahani and Deputy Nashadahani. I had a long struggle with the decision of putting my name forward just because of the part of the situation I was in with the Speaker of the House, and part of it was the situation of, you know, like, I really put a lot of thought into why I want to do this. And, you know, and so the answer was obviously, I'm here now, so I made that decision, and it was not taken lightly, but in the past years that I have the experience of, I've had a lot of opportunity in my life. I've had a lot of opportunities to working outside of Teslin, and I've gained a lot of knowledge in through those opportunities, and learning a lot of different trades and the skill sets, and so I thought I could have really something to offer to help build and work on the teams that we have here in Teslin. You know, some of the work I did outside was people don't know some of my background was in construction, and mine developments, airport developments, road construction. And when I finished up, I was in the oil patch. You know, when I was supervisor there, I was working my way up the ladder. The whole time I've always been in that field. And at the end, you know, I was supervising men of just a little over 200 men on the in the construction field, and having to work with a team of foremen and building that team and getting some pretty major projects completed. So I thought I could take some of that skill set and apply it to this position here as well. I see a lot of opportunities in Teslin. When I moved here, you know, I just absolutely fell in love, and then I came here because my mother was here, and you know, our family slowly was coming back. And so during the 12 years of working for Teslin, I've had a lot of opportunities to go down many different hallways and be part of many different groups. You know, I was started out as the director of capital infrastructure, and you know, really addressing a lot of the housing issues and the housing policy issues, and started to work on some of the housing issues as well. And so I was, and then I also joined the TTC Trust. That gave me a lot of opportunity there to be familiar with all your business entities, and then I also became a member of the Non-Governmental Assets Oversight Committee as well. Gave me another opportunity to see more of your business structure. Maybe in the last few years as well, you know, I've been working closely with the Elders Council, and I was the Elders Council coordinator, and chaired many of their meetings, and was able to hear the elders, a lot of their concerns that they have ongoing with the government. And lastly, you know, I was also Speaker of the House. You know, I took that job and so it gave me a little level of comfort, you know, to be able to working with our citizens and understanding what our citizens are wanting. And I during all those other things, I was project managing as well, and really enjoy job creation. And that's what I can see that we can come bring to the table is I'm hoping, you know, with my term here, is to continue that job creation, continue working with the citizens, and continue building that team building. And so I look forward to all that, and I have a good relationship. I get along. I understand what management board's about. I understand the frustration that I hear from the elders. I understand and I hear the frustration from the citizens. And I really think I have a good position in the experience in the 12 years I've been working here to take that to the next level and work with the citizens and the executive council and the other councils to put our best possible team forward and see what we continue in building and striving what Teslin has been doing over the last years of self-governing. I'm no expert in a lot of the fields, and that's why I believe that I'm a good team player and I've been working closely with our team. So, thank you for that time.
Good job, Bob. Dead on. I'd like to introduce Eric Morris. You're next. Go ahead, Eric.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to thank you all for taking the time to be here and to participate in this. And I think this is, in many ways, really innovative in terms of looking at how we look at selecting our leaders, because it gives us an opportunity to really clearly hear what our aspirations are as candidates, and you know, for any of the positions that we are vying for. I want to take this opportunity just to wish my running mates the best of luck in their bid for the position that we're all seeking. You know, I respectfully acknowledge our chief who's with us, so it's good to see you. I wanted to just give you just a bit of what I'm involved with right now. Right now, I'm the chair for the Teslin Development Corporation, which is a corporation that is funded by Teslin Council, and you know, I serve as the chair. I've been on there now, I think it's about 8 years almost. So I've been involved with the work that's happening there, and had the privilege of working with a lot of our citizens that are in our community, but also the ones that are serving on our board as well. I get a chance to work with them. I am also the spokesperson for our Doctority clan, and I also serve as the president for the Teslin Minor Hockey Association. I've done that for just over a year now. I remember once I actually went, when Doug Hogan was the president for the Teslin Minor Hockey Association, he had decided that he would no longer do it. And because my granddaughter was involved in hockey, I decided to go to one of their meetings just to support the work that they were doing. And they were having, so I decided to go to one of their board meetings. And so I walked through the door, and first words I hear, "There's the president." So they made me the president of the Hockey Association. And I reluctantly took it on. But it's been good. I also I serve on the board for the George Johnson Museum as well. I decided to get involved with them because of the work that we do at Teslin Development Corporation, because I feel in many ways there's a strong connection there between what we do at Teslin Development Corporation as well as what they do at the museum as well. And I also work alongside a board, and I'm on the community campus committee for the Teslin campus, which is now it's not called Yukon College anymore, it's called the Yukon University. And of course, you all know that my wife and I own the Saskatchewan Trading Post. We're actually going into our 10th year of ownership for that. Just wanted to share with you too, in some ways, like when I think about my decision to take on this responsibility as a shot of honey, I had to think about it the best I could, because there's things, as you are aware, there's things that I'm involved in right now, and I've been involved in for some time. But I look at what I've been doing over the years. Since I've come back to Teslin, I was the regional chief with the Assembly of First Nations, and since I came back, I continue to serve on general council and help out with that. And so I really have a strong interest in what it is that we're doing as a government. I know that the social and economic well-being of our people is a priority for me, and I think it should be the focus for all of us, the main focus for all of us. You know, I think about that statement, part of the land, part of the water, and that in many ways speaks to the priorities that I see that I can bring forward to the work that we do as a nation. And I believe that our plans that are in place now, and I look at how they're being incorporated into what we do as a government, and I look at all of the things that are in place right now, like the management board, all of the committees, all of the administration, all of those things in part play to what I see us being really effective and really working hard to make sure that we are all upholding our responsibility and doing it to the best of our ability. And when I think about that, I think that really is a strong priority for me. Like, I think about our youth, I think about our elders, I think about having really strong programs in place for them so that we can get them out of the land, get them involved in recreational activities that really bring up their skills. Chief.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Just going to set the clock for this. So next up, John Peters Jr. The floor is yours.
Chief, thank you. Laura, do you hear me?
No.
Is it on?
There we go. Hello. Chief. Sean, you heard down south, Nigagena, Kokitan, I had G school, you had to so Kura, you had to so. I have 3 names because my one name is given to me at birth, Sean. My grandpa Tom used to joke with me, he's wise old man, he said, that means old man. G school, Kura, given to me at my Uncle Jimmy's potlatch. That's what I'd like to carry on. our culture, our heritage. Through our Hakusti'i Declaration, our supreme law. That's what it says in our Hakusti'i, our supreme law. We have to uphold our culture. And yet at the same time, we got to worry about the economic benefits of our people. How are we going to move ahead and yet protect one the other? Before I get too far ahead, I've sat on an executive for Coquitlam before. I sat as deputy chief. I was a young man then. I was starting to grow as a young man, but starting to understand myself, where I am, where I come from in this world. Like my grandpa Tom says, how can you know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from or where you come from? I thank you all of you, for showing up, and I thank all these guys for being up here because it takes strength. I know my heart was given her, but what made me want to run wasn't just this decision. It was a lot of years. I've been groomed for it, I believe. My grandpa, Tom, used to take me to his clan meetings. I may not be Daisy Don, but he said, I'm Crow. You need to sit down in the corner. Don't say nothing. He used to go down to Andy Torrance's house there. I want to keep our clan system strong, as it says in our principles in 2.0. We're a clan-based government, and we like to make our decisions based on those we have a traditional system of making decisions, and we'd like to desire to hold on to those systems, but yet involve contemporary government. This election right now is a good example of us involving as a government and becoming into the contemporary government. I think of all the stories that we have here. We got to look at our own source revenue. Kleinach Toe. What are they doing to help us benefit? What are they giving back to us as people? Because that's a strong name, Kleinach Toe. It's about giving to the people. It's about that man. He made cook food for his wife on that raft. He helped his wife. In the end, he wanted to feed his wife, so he put that snare out. That bear tried to get on that raft. He fight that bear off for his wife. He gave his wife, he asked his wife, "Are you hungry, mother of my child? I will cook for you." So he put out that snare, he catch that sheep. He cut that sheep up, he put it on that thing to cook for his wife. From now on, this mountain will be named Kleinach Toe, Lone Sheep Mountain. It's about giving to our people, helping our people, feeding them. So excuse me, I get worked up sometimes, but that's our culture, that's our strength. We gather power, like Eric said, we're part of the land, part of the water. Quote, it started by Todd's grandma, Virginia. I honor all of you. You guys all honor me for being here. I ask you guys all to exercise your right to vote. Those calls to action? I call to action my people to exercise your right to vote. Goodness Cheesh. Yisham Mohan, have mercy on all of us. We're all hurting. We've all lost people. We don't need to. I just wish you all good luck and take care.
Thank you very much, John.
Before we go over to Todd, just want to note that we do have 37 people online streaming right now. So Todd, you're up next.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I just want to acknowledge our moms, grandmothers, Mother Earth. If it wasn't for you, we all wouldn't be here today. Also want to acknowledge the
chief and council that's been before us. Been doing a good job. Thank you for the street. I'd also like to thank my candidates or my running mates here. What a tough challenge it is. And some good speakers here. I just wanted to talk about my platform. Just no one is a priority because they're all need attention. We look at our language and culture. We're pushing more for our language and more of us learning for our language. It's going to bring our culture back. The economic priorities that are facing us for the next couple of years are huge. We really need to look at them and prepare for them. The other one, I don't have a name for it, but I call it habitat humanity. You know, we have to start looking after the land. That's what got us here today. You know, the humanity that follows it. We need somebody to speak up for those animals. We're encroaching them right now. That's why our stocks are so low. You look at the sheep, or you look at the moose, the salmon, the trout. We're really dire straits here that we really need to work at. And again, these are all priorities. Not one is more important than the other. The others are elders and our youth. We really need to combine those. We've been losing libraries. We've been losing museums of knowledge of our lost elders within the last year. And it's going to be tough to get that back. But we need to try. What made me run was you guys, the people. You guys made me run. There's nothing more than I'd like to serve my people. And I did this over in the past. I've trained a lot of people. I've trained apprentices. I've trained my kids. Being out in the land where I'd like to be right now, but I would like to work for my people. I've always did. It's been nothing but a dream for me. I've walked both worlds. Being a Tlingit, being trained by some very wise ancestors we have, and to try to struggle to live that lifestyle on the land. Yet on the other side, the Lake Off side, and I am half and half, and I'm proud of it, to be blessed to walk both sides. We have to go to get educated, to come home. When Elijah Smith said, together today for our children tomorrow, I'm one of those kids. I come back, I get my education, I run a small business. I'm here to serve the people. There's nothing more that I'd like to do than serve you guys. I give my pledge to you guys that I'll do the utmost to make us succeed as who we are as Tlingit. Again, I'd like to acknowledge my other candidates. It's going to be a tough battle, but we're going to try it. The other thing that I can see out there too that we really have to address is the abuse, the addictions. And I'm no perfect angel. I've been through there. I've walked both sides, so I know what it takes and know how it is to hurt. I'm here to serve the people, the Tlingit. I look forward to working with the people. And again, it's a beautiful place to be, Teslin. And I want to keep us going, setting an example for the rest of the other First Nations that look at us. The sustainability, the citizenship, the culture. Those are some of the things that I like to highlight, and I've always said this in our General Council. Sustainability. We need to focus on that. I thank you guys all for coming here tonight. For this speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Todd. So next up, we have our candidate for Naha Shah Dahani, Deputy Naha Shah Dahani, Carl Smarch. Also, he should be here, but obviously he's traveling back. So Carl, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Gordy. Geez, I hold my hands up to you people for inviting me here today to share my vision with you for the future of Teslin Lincoln self-government. For me, for quite a few years, I've been away from home. I worked for the non-First Nation. When I came home, I worked for the First Nation. Today, I'm one of the directors of Clean Up the Way. Been on there since the beginning. Very exciting. My Indian name is Michego. I got a brother, Peter Fox. Didn't like that Indian name, so he gave me his, Ted Kuntz. I didn't use that name in respect to my brother Doug. So I like to start using that, Ted Kuntz. I worked in many places for many years. I'm actually retired, supposed to be retired. And you know, I've been in the field of welding for 25 years. And I retired that. I had one more field I'd love to do. I always wanted to be a truck driver. So I ended up driving a truck. I made trips to Anchorage. I made trips to Oregon. And I worked for TTC for 7 years. And it was great being home. A lot of things happened while I was away from home. And a lot of things I'm still learning today about our government. I had some good teachers. I've sat beside some good teachers here in our government. Today, I put my name forward to work for you. Every one of you in the government. I think about our elders. I'm an elder. I think about the elders that left, which is very sad. I think about what they got before they left. That's one thing that put me here, where I want to be, deputy chief. I worked with Bob McGill. And I enjoyed working with him. Him and I went through the same experience working for non-First Nations. I listened to many people. I got phone calls at my home. So I made the decision to put forward my name for deputy chief. I'd like to congratulate all the men sitting beside me on my left-hand side. I wish them all the best of luck. I guess if I'm successful as your deputy Mashada Honey, I'll be there to pick up their pack sacks when they leave to work in place of them. I know it's going to be a lot of work. There's a lot to learn from me. But I got a lot of people around me that've been through this field. If I'm successful in this position, I have to resign from being a director for Clean Up the Way, which I enjoyed very, very much, working with people, working with the other clans. I'm here for you today. I'm not here for money. We'll work hard, listen to people, listen to our elders that we have left here. They're very precious to me.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you very much. In 5 minutes. Just a couple of announcements. We're going to head to the questions. I am getting quite a few questions. Just a reminder, if you came here a little late, there are a few ways to ask questions. You can send an email to elections2020@ttc-teslin.com. You can also text questions to 867-384-0002. And of course, right behind you there's a table with Sharon Shorty, Chief Electoral Officer Sharon Shorty, and her assistants Ann Turner and Deborah Silverfox. And they're taking all your questions as well. So and we're getting quite a few questions. So please feel free to ask more questions. Just something John said, encouraging people to get out to vote. Just a reminder that you got to make sure your name is on the voters list and your mailing address is up to date. So please spread the word. I understand that's pretty critical in terms of getting your vote, for being able to vote. And if you need to do that, please approach the TTC register, Charlene Peters. She's at 390-2532. I don't have her extension here, but she's at the TTC office. So just a reminder, if you haven't done so, please do that. So you get, as John said, get out and vote. So we are going to move to questions. And for this one, candidates have 2 minutes to respond. Again, not all the questions will be directed to everybody. A general question, everyone will have an opportunity to talk about it. They'll have 2 minutes, and we'll start with, I'll just go to the next first person, that's going to be Eric, and then after the second question, the first person will be John, but everyone will have the opportunity to talk. Okay? So here's the first question. Lately, there's been lots of discussion in the community about Johnsontown people separating from TTC. How will you address this and provide unity in the community? Eric, you're up.
This, one of the things that I've been thinking about as well too is, I know that has been mentioned in the past, and I can understand the thinking behind it, and understand some of the challenges that are faced by the families that are from up in Johnsontown area, as well as in BC area as well, where Nakahash has his traditional territory. Flute in the past, where Flute also had his traditional territory. You know, there's a lot of things that are going on that raise concern. You know, in some cases, people are building up in that area. You know, and so there's we really need to set up processes that look at how we monitor what's happening there, so that we can begin to put in place the necessary plans to protect those areas, because I think that's really important, and like implementing actions that will essentially protect those areas from being any development or anybody encroaching on those lands, and I think that's really a priority, and I totally support that.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. John, you're up next. Just for a second, you said the clock. Go ahead.
Hello? There we go. Vote. Thank you, sir. Well,
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
okay. Thank you. That's a good question. You know, I myself am a Johnsontown descendant, but I'm also Teslin Clinker Council descendant. We got to remember, it wasn't us that separated us. It was the federal government. We're all one people. This book right here, I carry it with me all the time. I read it. I use this to help keep us united. For this book, it says, this book will, our land claims here will not affect us anywhere else, or other rights or benefits. My grandpa Edgar, he carried over the Chilkoot Trail 3 times. I'm connected to this place. I'm Dr. Lady Yutki. My dad's Dr. Lady. We battled here too. Not only has the lake all of our names, they're all the same. You know, we share land here. Section 35. That's how we'll utilize, that's how we'll stay here, that's how we'll be as one. You know, but we'll utilize our elders and get those old stories. The ones that we have left, we have 80-something elders left here. That knowledge, you gotta keep it alive, keep it together.
Thank you very much, John. Todd, just give me 2 seconds. Okay, floor is yours.
Good question. I hope it, really like us to stay united, but we also gotta respect those people that's their homestead, that's where they live. You know, we have to work with them and talk to them, and hopefully it doesn't come to separating, because it worries my heart. I didn't really hear about this before, and it really worries me. It's like that bundle of sticks. You know, you take that one stick out, it's gonna break easy. But if you keep that bundle of sticks together, we're gonna be a lot stronger. I would really look at involving those people from up the lake, our people. You know, talk to them, what's their needs. The other thing I could see up there too is, of course, the negotiations and all the building that's going on there too. Again, when I talk about the habitat, we're encroaching them. Where people are building up there, and I see that. I don't want my kid to, or anybody, you know, they have to, when we go around that point, up into the BC side, you know, sky and water, anybody's going up there, they know what I'm talking about. I want to preserve that. I want to preserve that for our next kids down the road. But that's where we need talking. We need to get together and talk to one another. And especially those people that's their backyard. Can't go stepping into people's backyard without talking to them. You need to involve them. Mr. Chief.
Thank you very much, Todd. Carl, you're up next, and getting quicker at this. Maybe not. Carl, the floor is yours.
Carl, do you want to
respond to the question? Thank you, Gordon.
I'm not very experienced in this stuff, but BC, I don't want to see nobody separate. I like to see everybody stay together and work together and be stronger. But I'll learn. Thank you.
Okay, Bob, I'm just going to set. Sorry, I'm not good at this multitasking.
That's okay. Hey, you're doing a great job.
Thanks. All right, you're doing Bob. The floor is yours.
So, thank you for the question. You know, TTC has an incredible team in place right now, working on the BC land negotiations down there. We need to continue the support that they're working on. And I realize that there is a lot of you know, still fairly tricky situations going on where people are talking about separating out of Teslin here to go back into the BC Toronto town. You know, we need to respect those families, work with those families, and you know, and really dig deep into and work with them of resolving these issues, so we stay united. and continue to support the work that is going on down in British Columbia. We also need to make sure that we're over there talking with the Taplin River Trinket people. We've had years of ongoing issues with the land down there in British Columbia. And I believe I can help assist with some of that negotiation talk and our team to go over there and support that negotiation talk. To continue that work down there. It is important work. They are doing incredible work, but there is a lot to still continue on. But that's how I approach it. You know, like we need to be open and have really serious consultation with the families and on all the issues down there in British Columbia. And we develop Johnsontown for all of us. You know, yes, it'd be stronger for them, those families, but I don't think it would be for that we could not all share it and visit. And I look forward to the day that I go visit Johnsontown. I was supposed to do that with Matthew.
Thanks, Bob. So we got the next question coming up, and John, just to put you're first up for this, so just to make sure you're prepared. As a candidate for chief, so this is just for the Naha candidates. As a candidate for chief, what do you see for the management of our government?
That's a good question, Tim. No, what do I see for the management, but for our government? I'd like to sit down with the management board and discuss that. I'd like to see how they're involving our Hakusti in their decision making. How are they upholding our supreme law and making sure that it's incorporated into their decision making to help our citizens and how it's benefiting our citizens? You know, under 13.1.1, you know, we have a right, an obligation, Teslin Trinket Council, to take care of our intergovernmental affairs. Because the work that the management will do will also be an outlook on myself. You know, and I don't want that outlook to be tarnished. You know, but that's myself. That's the way I see the management working for Teslin Trinket Council.
Thank you very much, John. Todd, the floor is yours.
Yes, that's a good question as well. You know, when you look at the management, that's a big part. A lot of the decisions that are made daily at our office. I'd like to see, if I am elected, I'd like to sit down not only with them, but with the whole team. So it takes not just the management, but the whole team to make a collective government. I'd really like to work more closely with the management and executive, so some of the decision making is all consensus. It's, to me, it looks like some of the departments are working in silos, and it could be cumbersome. You know, we got to think outside the box, maybe try some different stuff. Most of all, they're doing a good job. You know, some of the departments are struggling, but the majority part of it, we're holding our own. You know, it's a tough world right now that we're working in, and having the tools to work with it, and more promoting our own people. You know, can't turn people away, can't scare them away. We need to involve more. And maybe a retreat for the management team with the executive, with new leadership coming in. And look at some of the visionings that were already set there, the seeds that were set there. I would love to be out in an immersion camp right now. Maybe change the school curriculum year. You know, think outside the box. That's where we're here, so been here for so long. You know, just don't think of the contemporary way or the colonial way. But when I could get in, or if I get in, I'd like to listen to the management, listen to their struggles, because we don't know what they're up against. But I'm there to listen.
Thanks, Todd. Bob, you're up.
Thank you, Gordon. Management board has been a hot topic on the, with Teslin City Council for the years I've been working here, for the 12 years. And, management board and the managers, we've, some years are terrific, where we really empowered a lot of our own citizens into those positions. And sometimes we struggle keeping our citizens in those positions. But it's not impossible, Todd has great words there of, the team building, and those are great exercises. What I've been doing with the management on a consistent basis is having a strategic plan in front of us and constantly looking at that strategic plan and seeing if that's servicing our citizens the way we want to serve our citizens, and to make sure that we have those checks and balances in there. And where are we falling short? And if we have to change things, what do we need to change? Management is essential to have in there, and to work closely with them and not have them work in silos. I believe in having, if I'm elected chief, I want to work closely with the management board and the managers. I want to be able to walk through the buildings with that level of comfort and sitting down with them and talking to them about their struggles. And what can we do as a government to make things better? What can we do to get the services to our citizens? And I don't want to be hung up with the policies. If the policy is not working, and the managers are holding everybody to that policy, if that policy is not working, then what do we need to do to change that policy to make sure it's working for our citizens? So I look forward to working with the management board and the managers, and with the entire executive council and the general council and all our citizens. Ms. Sheesh.
Thank you very much, Bob. Eric, you're up.
I know that's key. If our community is going to be healthy and strong, what we really need is to have a really strong governance structure in place. And when I say strong governance structure, it means that we have management processes in place that look at how it meets the needs of our citizens, that we have policies in place that looks at how it also meets the needs of our citizens. And the importance of all of this is being able to look at the relationship that you have between all of these bodies. It has to be positive, it has to be effective, it has to be clear. And one of the things, we have to have an ability to be able to work together for the betterment of our citizens. When you look at our annual operating budget for Teslin Council in the neighborhood of $20 million, and you sit back and you ask yourself, what are we getting for that $20 million? And it should be reflected in what you see within our community. You should have healthy people in good homes, with well-paying jobs, that children are happy and healthy and doing really well in school, whatever it is that they might be doing. I believe that, I know I've heard the challenges over the years of management board and the struggles they have, but I think we can overcome that by building a strong working relationship with management board and the executive council and all the departments. Because I've been told in the past that everything we do, we can't do by ourselves. We have to depend on each other. But if we're having struggles within our government structures, then it's going to cause us difficulty and challenges. So I really believe that we really have to take a good, strong, hard look at that, build positive working relationships that will give us the results that we're looking for, which is one outstanding, healthy community. So, Chief.
Thank you, Chair. Just a second for the next question. So, just a heads up, Todd, you're the first one up for this question. So, and I forgot to mention, when you submit questions, you can do them anonymously if you want. We can put your name to it. This one has a name. It's an Oklahoshi's question. As stated in the news, how Ross River is handling their situation with drugs being sold in their town. What do you think, and what would it be to take, what do you think, and what would it be something to look at for Teslin? Todd?
Very good question, because I I see the community struggling with it. We know it's out there, and it's not just the small drugs, it's the heavy drugs. The drugs that really crash people. And it's a very big concern of mine too. That's why when I see those youth, you could go drive down by the docks when it's sunny out. You see how many kids are riding their bikes. We need to focus on that youth. We need to encourage them and be with us and to tell them, you know, giving up your life to be an addict or on the drugs is a waste of your life. We have to have more get-togethers with them to keep them away from it. And if we need to bring more RCMP in, possibly to clamp their foot down, because there is people bringing it into the community, and it's just bad for the community, especially the ones with the mining. And it really scares me too, because I want to address this, especially with the economic opportunities coming forward. With economic opportunities comes the drugs. Look at Mayo. They're pretty much got a direct flight right from Alberta, BC. That's a pipeline to bring that stuff in. You know, and our citizens are easily caught up in it. I was caught up in addictions, and I'm happy to say I put that aside. We really have to look at that and prioritize that. When we prepare for these economic opportunities, it's not just about the dollar, it's the impact on our people. And we need to prepare ourselves for it because it is serious. I don't want to lose, look how many deaths from fentanyl. That's serious stuff. We need to really pay attention and look forward to it. That's why I want to be a shot of honey. I want to protect us, but yet give us opportunity.
Thank you very much, Tom. And we're going to go to Carl. You're up next. You.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's a good question. I really like this one. I've been on sobriety trail for 25 years. You know, I think we all have. We learn, we look, we see our younger people, what they're doing, and how can we fix it. For me, I'm a AA member, go to Wednesday night, every night, and trying to figure out how we can help our younger generation with what they're doing. And as a deputy, that's one thing I'd like to help our Neshotahani to work on, our youth. See how we can help them, how we can educate them. Send them somewhere to educate themselves. You know, we need reinforcement from the RCMP. We like to get alcohol workers, but they have to have the experience. They have to went through being an alcoholic. They have to have that experience. I know that's going to be one of the issues for the chiefs, the deputy chief. It's a big issue for us. We have some family that, you know, we lose a person, we lost some kids, but thank you.
Thank you very much, Carl. Bob, it's over to you.
Chief, thank you. So yes, Ross River made a very bold statement there, and it was published on the social media. And I'd really be interested in talking with him to see how they did that. We've talked about it here a number of times. The Elders Council has talked about it, you know, with the concerns. But the biggest concern is the safety factor for our elders that are living here, or the citizens that are living here that know that drug is going on, and that know that those drugs are being passed around our community, but they're scared to talk, and we need to create that safe place for them so they can come in and talk anonymously, like that SARS that they have, that SARS program they have in Whitehorse, where you can give anonymous tips when you know that there's a drug house going on. And you can get in there and you can address it. And those people that are giving you the information, they're not in harm's way at all. And, you know, like in educating the youth, but also not just educating them. 18 years old, 19 when they're young. And they're gonna fall into those traps. So having the facility here and having the programs that we have, you know, we've talked to for years about having we still don't have it. It's been tried a couple times, but I think we can do better, and I think we can really pull our heads together, because this is turning into a very serious situation, and it is on the forefront. But congratulations to Ross River, you know, and I think we could do stuff like that here in Teslin as well, and address that in a good, hard way. I know it was done here once before, and it was gone for years.
Thank you, Bob. Eric, the floor is yours. Just hold on, let me set this. Okay, the floor is yours.
Like one of the things I think about is, you always see this t-shirt that says Homeland Security. Well, that's what we need in our community. We need our citizens to be able to feel protected, and they need to feel secure and safe. And as mentioned, one of the things that happens, like the drug industry, it's an industry in itself. And like anything else, there's a boom in any area. As also mentioned, you'll find drug dealers, because they're about making money just like any other business. And so one of the things that I see that has to happen for us is you know, look, we have an administrative justice agreement in our government. Now, within that administrative justice agreement, we have opportunities that can be created to look at how we can be looking at community safety in our community, how we can look at protecting our citizens from situations where there's drugs involved or alcohol involved. When I think about the administrative justice agreement in itself, lends opportunity for us to do many things that are very positive. And looking at how we create a healthy community that feels secure can happen through that. And like I know that Ross River took some very drastic actions in regards to stopping drug dealers, the drug dealers that were in their home community. You know, sometimes that's what it takes to make things happen. And I know for us here in Teslin, I think for some of us, we pretty well can say, well, we know who the drug dealers are, but sometimes it's being able to have that willingness to step forward to actually doing and beginning to do something about that and bring about the change that we need, where our community members will feel safe. And I think that's one of the things I see us doing as an executive council.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric.
Last but not least for this question, John.
Thank you. What we can do is ask them to stop. Anybody out there selling drugs, stop. And it's a scam, not SARS.
Sorry.
SARS is a disease.
Sorry, thank you.
But, you know, be involved, have events, sports, you know, put something else out there, opportunities. We need to create opportunities for our people. When I was young, I used to go to Arctic Winter Games a lot for soccer, you know. Believe it or not, I got Athlete of the Year here one time. We need to create those opportunities for our people here, because we have a lot of gifted people, a lot of athletes. You know, one of the greatest trips I ever did in my life was in Journeys 97. I went on a canoe trip. Richard was chief then. I went from Hazelton to Victoria, the best summer of my life. You know, that's replace it. Replace those opportunities. Create more opportunities. You know, I will be involved, chief. If I become chief, I will be involved. I'll be out there. You know, just to show that someone cares. create a safe house for our kids. We gotta be safe, we gotta keep them, because they're our future. They're our future generation. Let them know we care. Those ones that are on drugs, we love you. Please stop. It's us that are gonna be hurting. I'm hurting right now. Believe me. The result of that lifestyle, I ask you all, please take care of yourselves.
Thank you, John. So that was the last speaker for the question, that last question. We're going to go to the next question now. I'm supposed to move on to Carl. The question. Through our text. So with almost 100 million in projects coming to Teslin, what will you do to maximize Tlingit employment and Tlingit business opportunities?
All the time already. So, thank you, Gordon. First thing is what you call an impact benefit agreement. When you're having big projects like that coming to your community, an impact benefit agreement is, some of our citizens here are familiar with what those agreements are. When you have large amounts of money and projects coming into your community, like Todd was saying, earlier about the drugs that come in, that is something you negotiate right up off the bat. And, so we have those programs, you have that agreement in place, but also, working with our citizens here on making sure that they've been working for the last number of years with the Teslin Development Corporation, through Yukon College, through different programs, they're getting training, and then they fall short of no work, no ways to actually exercise that training that they just obtained. So we need to be getting creative to make sure that they can get ready for the fields. And so there's a lot of money coming into the community, and we need to maximize our jobs. And like deep purpose, and that's what they want to do. They want to work. When you have purpose in the morning, it really slows down those other partying times and things like that. And they have pride in their work, and they just love going to work. So be able to maximize out on those is to make sure that we have good agreements in place with the companies, and also work with our corporations. We talked for the last 2 years, worked with our corporations on building a company of our own inside our own Clean Up the Way entity, or inside our trusts, to make sure that we can secure those jobs and secure those opportunities. And I really want to continue that work to make sure that we have that work done. And it was something I wasn't able to continue to work on when I stepped down from the trust.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. You're up next.
2 minutes left in that time for that.
I know, but
Thank you.
Bob, sorry.
One of the things that I strongly believe in is that having a healthy workforce in place that has the capacity and the training that it needs to take on some of these different projects that are coming our way is really important. And it should be a priority for our government, which is Teslin Council. And I know that we have a strong workforce development department within TTC that has a good working relationship with the Teslin campus. And I really look at how we can work together with them to really ensure that the opportunities that we create around training, that our citizens can be involved in, so that they could actually be ready when these projects begin happening. And I think over the next 10 years, there's, as mentioned, there are millions of dollars that are going to be utilized and spent in the community. And all of this infrastructure development that's going to be done is going to require people that have training, that have the professional expertise to do the jobs that are needed to be done. And they're going to have support from Teslin Council to be able to do that. And I know that one of the things for certain is that having a clear picture of what that workforce looks like is important. Right now, like just through my work with involvement with Teslin Development Corporation, we did a survey, and the survey essentially told us that we have about 330 people that are available for our workforce in Teslin. And about 299 point something are all working at this point. So it leaves actually 30 people to be available to do the work that's being planned for our community. So when you begin to look at that, that creates a huge gap in terms of what's being required to be done for these projects and the workforce that you have to complement that. And I think that's something that's going to be a priority for me as your leader in the chief.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. John, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Chapter 22, our land claims agreement. That's how we'll look at the work here. That's how we'll get work for our people. I've done it before. I put a stop to construction company here was ready. They had all their equipment ready to dig in, you know. I had a citizen come into my office and they were worried there was no Tlingit citizens equipment there. I drafted a letter up under chapter 22. We have our people. That's what this was negotiated for our people to work. That was the spirit and intent of this. I know I was there. I was 16 years old. I sat in some of those negotiations. Talk about an impact benefit agreement. We should be talking about a benefit agreement. There should be no impact to any of our land. No, for us to benefit from something, to impact. But I tell you though, chapter 22 will take care of all of our citizens who want to work. All of them who want to work, they'll work. And those ones that don't want to work, you love them anyway, because they're clean yet. Kunishish, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. I had someone text me wondering what number to go, so I'm pulling double duty over here. So sorry for the delay. Todd, the floor is yours.
Yes, that's an important question for sure. You know, not only is it 100 million, I must say it's 200 million. We've been working on it already. We've been having project meetings every 2 weeks to talk about some of the issues with some of these projects. It's the bridge. We're looking at the housing, the new community service building. And to me, we should have been preparing years ago by start putting more people into apprenticeship programs, start preparing for them, because it's going to be a boom and bust, and we want to capitalize on it as much as we can. I would make sure that we get our fair share. First would be Tlingit prioritization. That's what I think our dev company, TTC, should be working with their citizens. If they don't have the equipment to do the job, like the crush that's going on the airport right now, how many of our citizens are on there working already? You see those trucks flying by. Are we benefiting it? Or is any of our, look at our equipment operators. Has any of them got a piece of the pie? None. That scares me. They say it's in writing, but when you go to actuality to see who's on the job site, and then we're not talking just a token labor, we want journeymen out of the deal. You look at the housing coming out. We need to really strategize around this. And when I say strategize, start looking at possibly, are we going to go too fast? Are we going to bite off more than we could chew? Sometimes we really got to think about that and strategize it. We don't want to boom and bust. You look at the FTA dollars that are sitting on the table now, and they put us to a time limit, $2 million each year. If it's not spent, we might lose it. We need to strategize on it and maximum Tlingit benefits out of it. And when it comes to the addictions, we talked about having that camp out of town, because it is on the table in the streets.
Thank you, Todd. So we're going to move on to the next question. Carl, just prepare. This question is coming to you first, just because we missed you last turn. This is for everybody. All right. So this is from Dwayne McCoy. What does clan governance mean to you, and how would you work with Executive Council and General Council? Go ahead, Carl.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Wayne. Hope you're doing good where you are. For me, working with government, working with the executive, management board, everything's a flow, and you should be working with them. So my strategy is to work hard with them, listen to them. Executive, I'm in there. And it's just a strategy of working together. Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry, Carl. Bob?
Hi, clan governance, spoke with an Uncle Hosh before about this, is how does our clan governance working with our administrative governance? And we wanted to actually host, some workshops to talk about strategizing of how we can improve that. And I'd like to continue that work. I can appreciate the clan governance, and I'm understanding it, and don't know it all yet, and I really rely on the teamwork and team building, and make sure that we're constantly having that continuity there between the management and the clans, and strengthening our clans as well is going to improve our clan governance. There's a lot of frustrated people out there still. I understand there's still 160 citizens who are still waiting to belong to a clan. If we can get that work done, that's going to really improve the clan governance and the clan structures and belonging. So, that's important work to have as well to be completed. And I also think, we should be having, it's not just what Teslin decisions we make will impact the village of Teslin. And, so I would like to see town, the VOT and the executive council, so we can have good open discussions in front of all the citizens of Teslin before we make big decisions. Chief.
Thank you, Bob. And Eric, you're up next. Just give me 2 seconds. All right. Floor is yours.
One of the things I see is clan governance is, the clan system is intertwined into all aspects of our government. And from the committee level to what we do within all of our administration, and being able to make that work effectively is making sure that that support that each of the clans needs to be effective, and our participation is very important. I look at some of the challenges we have right now. Anakwa Hosh is our only clan leader that's here with us this evening, and all of our other clans have spokespersons. One of the things that I see as your leader is that really understanding what kind of support we bring to the clans so that they can begin to deal with some of these challenges that they have. Challenges, as Bob has mentioned, around looking at the citizens that need to be adopted. Challenges around looking at recognize, okay, sorry, and okay. So I think of those kinds of things, and I look at clan governance as the pinnacle for who we are as Teslin Tlingit, and it sets us apart from other nations. And it's a structure that works well for us. And if we focus on looking at how we can make sure that we are well supported, that we are clear in our direction in terms of where we are going together as clans, and looking at the work that we're doing within our community, it's based on the instruction and direction that we get from our clans. And I really strongly believe that's a system that's second to none. So that's my view. Go with Chief.
Thank you, Eric.
John, the floor is yours.
Thank you. How do I see the clan governance working? Like I said before, it's what our land claims was negotiated on. Was negotiated on our clan governance. As Eric said, it falls into all aspects of our departments. All aspects. You know, excuse me. I look at it, you know, when we make a decision, it's not by one person. It's by all of us as a clan. All of us. Clan governance is there for us to hold us all up as equal people. We all get a voice to our clan governance. You know, it says in here, like I said before, 2.0 under our principles, we have a unique decision-making structure, and we like to keep that. We are a societal people, which means we come from two societies. And in the law, that's what they tell us. We're societal people. We come from two societies. And how do we bridge that, how do we bridge our clan governance into contemporary governance? Together as clans, we're going to find that out. We have clan governance. This makes a strong nation. You know. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Todd, the floor is yours.
What does clan governance mean to me? We got the best government in the world. Awesome. You know, we're a young government. We're going to have our struggles, but in my eyes, we got something good. And I'd like to give a shout out to all those negotiators, all those people that worked hard to get us where we're at today. They fought 20 years for us and never shed blood once. And look at what we got today. Awesome. And sheesh. How we can improve on it? Maybe give more money for clan empowerment. More retreats for the clans. Get out there more. Get on the land more. We're too much sometimes stuck in these situations where we can't express our true feelings. When you're out in the land or sitting by a fire, you know, the love comes out, and we have to unite. It's like my Uncle Doug said, we're as good as one guy paddling in that boat out in the lake there. If we don't get along and unite, we're going to be paddling in circles. But I'm still proud of what we got. How beautiful it is, and we're a young government. We're going to have hiccups on the way. Sit down, and we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. But it sure makes me happy that what we have today. And sheesh.
Thank you, Todd. So we're going to move on to the next question. Eric, you're up next because we flip-flopped Carl and Bob on that two previous questions. So this is a question from Kelly Johnson. Our
children are supposed to be taught as young as 10 to 13 years old. What, if any, plans do you have to address this issue? It is not a new one, but it's a very important one. Eric?
One of the things that we have in place right now is equal representation on our school council, and like looking at how we utilize our representatives at Second School Council is going to be one of the keys to helping us to deal with this situation, because it's not only pot, it's alcohol, underage drinking, and I think if we could begin to work with the teachers within the classrooms, working with the health and social development department, being able to incorporate some programs or some education around just the use of alcohol, the use of drugs, some of the negative impacts that it creates for families and for individuals. Create an awareness for them so that they are aware of this, and create some education around that so that it helps them to understand that when they see these kinds of things taking place, they know the result of what the negative impacts are on their lives. And I look at where we are and what we're doing today. We have to be mentors, we have to be role models, we have to be able to put ourselves in positions where we are seen as doing positive and good things in our community. When people see us doing that, that's what's going to help us bring about the change that we see that's needed in areas such as this, and where are being impacted in a negative way with drugs or with alcohol. So that's my change.
Thank you, Eric. John?
Hello. Education, educate them, talk to them. Recreation. Create recreation. Create a spot where they can go, a friendship center. Create something else that they can do. Like I said before, I will be an involved chief. I got stuff I can offer. Play guitar, replace it with play guitar. Stick gambling. Our culture is there in place of alcohol, in place of drugs. We've got strong stories, each one of us. And Yeti, my grandpa's people, strong people. Stand quick. Let's share those stories. I remember a long time ago, they used to call them Indian Days. Auntie Gladys and Jane, they sit down, they make us soap berries, tell us stories. Keep us, all of us kids, quiet. Be quiet when Dutch gonna take you away. They told us that story. Look at Emmy smiling, she knows that story. They tell us about the woman, the young girl from Cluckwan that kept on feeding the earthworm, taken into her room. These stories, they each have a story within them, on how life is, what you gotta do in life. There's a reason they tell us those stories. All of our Tlingit stories, they got a lesson in them. Let's bring it back.
Thank you, John. Todd, the floor is yours.
Thank you. That's a good question. Definitely about the kids smoking. Like I said, you drive down by the docks there any sunny day, and you'll see how many of them standing around. We need to get something to them. Right now, I'll go and pick them up, and there's probably half a dozen at my granny's fish camp right now. Get them out of town, get them out in the land doing something. You don't have to have a big budget to do it. Take the time yourselves, each and one of us, and educate them. Educate them on both the drugs and the alcohol, and maybe do some more functions, do some school dances, get them out there. We show them how to respect it, not to abuse it, because we're not going to be able to be there when they're picking up that bottle or picking up that joint or going to do drugs, hard drugs. We need to all take action on this. I struggled with it in my life, and I don't want that to happen to the next generation. That's why I put myself out there picking up these young folks. We need to get more involved. That immersion camp I hear talking about lots, I'd love to do that with the elders. Take the elders and the youth up the lake, up in the mountains, up the trap line, across the lake. We got the facilities, how come we're not using them? Mixing those kids and elders could provide longevity to both of them. That's what I talked about, the priority. One of my priorities is the youth and the elders. We got so much potential there. We should be educating them more and teach them how to socialize, have a dance. You know, there's lots we could be doing. Number one, we could start helping them, educating them ourselves by taking them by the hand, taking them out in the land. And sheesh.
Carl, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, we have to work on our children.
Hold on, just, get your mic.
Yes, we should be working with all our children. We're starting it off in schools. You know, one of our leaders, whoever gets in, to be working with our kids, teaching them, taking them out, maybe traveling. Everyone says, that's my right. I agree with them. We can bring in some help when we need it, but all the help is here at home in our First Nation. We should utilize them. Utilize our elders, who's more educated in what we're doing. I listen to them. Hear a lot of stories from way back. Elders used to say, do you only drink on Saturday? And I believe that because I've seen it. And we need more activities. Baseball, never started it, never seen it. With competition against our kids, where they'll show their strength of what they can do. Get them going. Play ball, curl. We have a big facility here, never used. Spent a lot of money on it. And I really believe we should start working with our kids, younger ones. And that's my biggest belief too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carl. Bobby, last on this question. The floor is yours.
Hey, Gord. That's a tough one. Marijuana just got legalized. Pot is everywhere right now. You know, it's sold legally on the streets. Pot is just so common in every community. We talked about educating our kids, educating the kids. We gotta start educating our parents too. Starts at home. You know, if the adults in the room are sitting there getting stoned and drunk, and the kids are watching and going, oh, you know, like, that's where it starts. So that's a tough lesson, you know, this is a tough challenge. And, you know, like, yeah, you know, like we can have the facilities, we do need the facilities, we do need the other programs for the children. And working with them in the school, I think is very key. School is a very safe place for these children. When if you're talking, they're taking this stuff and starting this stuff at 10, 11 years old. Explaining to them of how the brain develops when you're that age and how your brain is still developing. And it blows me away to hear how young some kids.
Each candidate will have 5 minutes for closing remarks, and that'll bring us somewhere around 8:30. Is everyone okay with that? Candidates all okay with that? Yeah, all right. So if the questions aren't answered, they're going to be, we do have another form coming up. Let me get my, and it will be in Whitehorse at Mount McIntyre, August 26, 2020, 6 to 8 p.m. And it will be live streamed as well, right, Sharon? It'll be live streamed, yeah. So these questions will get moved to that forum. If any questions will get asked tonight, okay? I just want to let you know your question will be answered, just may not be tonight. All right, so for the next question, and John, you're first up, just a reminder. To all candidates, what will you do to effectively deal with actual homeless citizens? Actual meaning not staying with family, but people living on the street, going to the motel to warm up and and starting.
Thank you.
Shut up.
You know, if I remember our last, when our chief was getting appointed last time, every citizen will be in a home. I would like to look at that, and I would like to build upon that. Build houses, to look at different things. How can we build it? I'd like to start up our sawmill again, but not to sell wood, but for our homes, to build homes here, for our carpenters, you know. Why can't we create prefab homes here and sell them from here, you know? No one has to be homeless. Sad being alone. I've been alone before, I'm going to be honest. There was a time I wasn't allowed in this community. I had no home. It's a lonely feeling. It's a sad feeling. It's a sad feeling, those guys, they can't be here. They have no internet to watch. You know, I wish I had a big enough house. You know, I don't have a big enough house. You know, let's build houses, small houses if we have to. Let's look at this land, give people land. A land to build their home on. Look at this subdivision stuff here. Let's get these subdivisions finished. You know, that's a good question. That's a very good question. How are we going to take care of those ones? You know? Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Todd, the floor is yours.
That's a big challenge we have. It's like that all over the world. There's people without homes. But in our community, we have the tools there. We just got to get the team together to do it. We have our FTA dollars. First time in history of me working in the construction field that we have the money there. We didn't have to go and argue with the other bands for CMHC dollars. Let's start utilizing it. A lot of these derelict houses that are unoccupied, get them occupied or replace them. Look at some tiny homes. We figure out something where we could have a little cul-de-sac similar to some of the stuff I did in Carcross. We could overcome those challenges. We also have to train them too to how to respect those houses, how to look after them. It's not just about the house, it's about the surroundings around that house. We want to encourage them. Again, I'd like to shout out to the housing team that's been doing a good job the last couple of years, that's got us the money to this far. It's right there in front of us. We just need to put the right people in place there and face these challenges, because we're so close to being a show model for all of the Yukon. And these tiny homes, it could be a start or just a complex. So we can at least have a room, shared kitchens. No, we could think outside the box. The money's there. I see great opportunity. Like I said, we've got an opportunity in front of us. We just got to get going on it and involving everybody on it, identifying those people that are homeless, because there's not too many of them. We would probably count them on two hands. Let's not just leave them out in the cold anymore. Bring them in to the streets.
Thank you very much, Todd. Carl, you're up next. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, we should build houses, single houses for our younger generation. I've seen the program. I watched it on television. I think it's down in Saskatchewan. I know everyone here wants to make money, but sometimes we have to do without money. I really believe that, at one point, maybe we should all get together. We have a lot of carpenters here. smart carpenters, trained carpenters, red seal carpenters. We have younger generation here, don't have nothing. I watched a program where the whole community built one house for a mother with 2 kids. Less than 1 month, she was moving into her house. She cried one whole day. She was so happy. Her community got together, built her a house. Nobody got paid for it except the material. I like to see that happen one day. The whole community. Oh, if you can pound a nail, we should try to do that at one time. Probably wouldn't happen in my lifetime, but maybe it'll happen soon. That's what I like to see. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Carl. Okay, next up we have Bob.
Thanks again, Board. So homelessness is a tough issue.
Mike?
You know, it's something that, I was,
Your microphone?
really? Homelessness is something I've worked on, or not worked on, but it was always part of the plans there, part of the plans with the housing in Teslin. And one thing we looked at is, I had it on the table there once, was a 10-unit apartment building type complex to be constructed over in Airport East. And it was to be designed around, people to get into started in housing. Now I picked a 10-unit building because it's a MURB, a multi-unit residential building, where you can really lower the cost of heating and you can lower the cost of construction because you're only building, you're still only building 4 exterior walls and you're, so all your other interior walls. So your whole cost envelope, I think we set aside like, I can't remember how many millions of dollars it was for this building now, but it was an idea. We could definitely bring that back on the table. Teslin did get started with the tiny home project on addressing, some of that situation, but we could continue that. And, there's other avenues, there's money out there to address this. They built that Salvation Army building in Whitehurst. They're building buildings in Whitehurst. We're just not accessing the dollars. I think the dollars are out there that we could access them and really address this issue. We have money in our own coffers that could top up those dollars. We have, John mentioned, claim up to wait. We could go to our trusts and to ask to get that topped up. How many homeless are we really dealing with? Is it, that's, we need to do demographics around that and then start building a plan. And yeah, I like the idea of the sawmill and creating the jobs and doing in the training here in Teslin.
Thank you very much, Bob. Eric, you're the last person for this question. The floor is yours.
Sheesh. One of the things that I think about is the importance of the departments within Teslin Council working well together. As I mentioned, it's really important that our citizens feel that they're safe and they're protected in our community, no matter where they are, actually. One of the things priorities that I see us taking forward is how the departments work together to ensure that they have a strong awareness of what's going on with our citizens in our community. If one of our citizens is without a home and they're starving, as mentioned, then somebody needs to be doing something about it. Somebody needs to be taking action to turn that around. And when I look at where that action has to happen, it happens within our health and social development department. It happens with our capital department. Being able to look at those areas and looking at how they can work together to really change that situation. We have a housing committee that's in place. I don't believe we have a social development committee, but something that supports what the work that needs to be done in the social development area. You know, the social well-being of our citizens is, I see as a priority for me. And when I think about what's there, we have all of the tools that's necessary for us to create the situations where our citizens can feel that they're safe, that they're protected, that they're afforded what they need to live well. And I really strongly believe that, like, as mentioned, we're working on building tiny homes. We have 4 that are up in the airport subdivision right now that are still incomplete. You know, I look at that, you know, we have to be able to set out, when we set out to do projects, that we do it in a timely manner, that we go from start to finish and have them completed within a specific time and have people moving in. So, chief.
Very good. So take it to 10 o'clock, 10 after 8 timeline. This is going to be the last question because we have only 2 minutes and we have 5 candidates. So not that bad at math, but not that great at math, but I'm not too bad there. So this will have to be the last question. I do have a pile of questions here. And like I said, they'll go to the next forum next week. You know, it's great to see all these questions. We have a really engaged audience. So I know, just remind you, that's outstanding to have that kind of engagement. So just wanted to thank everyone for submitting the questions, and I'm sorry we're not going to get to all of them. So this is the last question. And just a reminder, Todd, you're the first one up on this one. This is to everyone. And this is a text question. How are you going to make our people unite as Tlingit people, as one people? Todd, the floor is yours.
That's a good question again. You know, how do we unite us? It's kind of a challenge right now, especially with this leadership race going on. And we have to walk away from this. No matter who wins or loses, we have to live with each other. You know, and that's where we struggle with this, how to fit it into our government. But like Gord said, what engagement. What a smart community we live in. It just makes me so proud. And it's just, I love the challenges. I love the questions. How to make us unite after this? That's going to be a challenge. That's where we need to trust in one another. Maybe having some retreats, putting the business away, maybe being out in the land. Because I know when I go out in the land and work with people, whether non-natives, whoever it may be, you stay 2 days in the bush, or else you work beside them in a trench, their true characteristics come out, and then you could address them. You learn to get along. You look at those cowboys when they come out of the bush. What a tight bond those guys have. It just makes you want to be a part of that. The best answer for that is to ask ourselves, how would you do that? As a leader, you're listening, and that's what I'm here to do, is to listen. I don't have all the answers. I'm not perfect, but I guarantee you, I'm here to listen to you guys. You tell me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Todd. Carl, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, to get together, you know, we've got to be kind to each other, communicate with each other. I see separation sometimes, arguments. One thing I really believe in is listening to our elders that we have left. They're the smart ones. They're all smart, our elders. You should get along. Same here. I'm here to listen to everyone. Give us ideas. The new chief who's getting in, the deputy chief. It's you who's the big boss here. Phone and ask questions. Maybe give some of your good ideas on how we can do things. How can we get along better? What can we do to get along? Where can we go to get along? I know I see it. I grew up many years with all our elders. I lived with a lot of elders here in Teslin, which I'm very proud of, and I listen to them. My mom always saying, be good to other people. That's the biggest thing for our government, trying to get our people together. They can start out with 10 people, start getting together. People start following.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Carl. Bob, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lord. You know, when I was out collecting signatures, the people asked me, you know, like, want a fun place to work? We want a good place to work again. Some people are not happy being at work. They're just going into work and hitting the clock and waiting for 5 o'clock. You know, so creating that atmosphere where they want to be at work is going to help start kicking this off. We're going to start gathering after work in healthy ways. You know, and that will grow, I would think. Getting the clan recognition done, that will help, because that will help grow things. Having more celebration like that. We talked about at the Heritage Center before about having celebration there every year, you know, of some kind, not just waiting for our annual or biannual Hakas 2E celebration, but have something ongoing there, you know, like the, I've seen photos and stuff about the school grad and the Clinket Day, you know, Guchnal, you were there, you know, and it was a great turnout, even through the COVID-19 and everything, you know, but having more things like that. I talk about, you know, Jane, you know, how they talk about, you know, having, Jane, Doug and Jane, having, you know, healthy celebrations outside, just picnics, that people will come and they'll instead of sitting at home drinking beer, you know, they'll come out and enjoy their time, and that will help grow us to become one, you know, and more celebration. We do a great job gathering at a funeral, and we need to do rework that so we're gathering for celebration and patting each other on the backs and growing it. Ms. Chief.
Thank you, Bob. Eric, the floor is yours.
I remember Aggie when she was our last general counsel, the words were, we got to get along now. And I believe in my heart, that's what we have to do. We got to get along, eh? We got to make the best of our time together. And if we don't, then we might as well forget everything. Ted Kunch used to say, you know, we got to be united and become one. You say that all the time. People say, man, I get tired of listening to him say that all the time. And I used to think, well, if you listen to what he's saying, it's that he's not seeing the change that he wants to see. That's why he's saying it. If you want him to change what he's saying, then change what you're doing, right? And I think about that, and I think about our community. You know, it's about being friends, helping each other, looking after each other, caring for one another, loving one another, respecting each other. You know, if we fall down and we can't get up, somebody go over and help to pick us up. It's all that's what it's going to help us to make it through our time. We know what it's like to get along. You're the chief peacemaker, Gordon, right? You must have some ideas. That's where I think about the implementation of our justice agreement. We have bodies within our government that can help us, to assist us, to look at different things that we can do to manage our way through some of our difficult situations. Being able to create venues for people to put out their differences, talk about their disagreements, talk about it in a good way, and then get on with our life. Because we can be prosperous, we can be very healthy, we can be as happy as can be. So come on, cheese.
Thank you very much, Eric. John, you are the last of this question.
Okay, can I get the question again?
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to make all our people unite as Lincoln people, as one people?
Okay, the sheesh. Song and dance. Kusua ah. Hey? Yeah. That's how we get out. Get out there and dance. Hey, Kusua. Hey? Get out there and celebrate more. Not only gather for sad events, but have dinners for everybody. For those young, older ones or elders that are looking after our young kids, have dinners for them. Dinners for the ones that come back from residential school to show that we love them. For the stuff that they aren't able to pass on to us that they wish they could. And the ones that we can pass on to them because we were lucky and we stayed. Some of us got to live with our elders, my grandpa. Our boats, our canoes down there. Takes many hands to paddle a canoe. I can't do it myself. We got to get united and pulling it. One day I'd like to see a canoe carved. Taken over down the Taku into Juneau. A cedar canoe, not traditional fiberglass. Traditional cedar. I've been on that. No. I'd like to unite Atlin, Teslin, Carcross. We start by walking the trail over to Atlin, invite them the old way. I'm ready to do it. If I get voted in, I'd like to walk through the village with my executive, see firsthand what needs to be changed, what can help my people, what do you need to get ahead? What do you need to help you sleep at night better, to give you that peace, to fill that void? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. So now we're going to do closing statements. So as I said earlier on, every candidate will get 5 minutes to just close off, or up to 5 minutes. Maybe it's going to go in reverse order. So Carl, you're the first one up for this one, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you again, Gord. I'm looking forward to what's happening and what's going to happen. I hope all our citizens are prepared for that, make the right choices. At this point, I'd like to thank our Nashotah Honey, Richard, for the work he did the past 4 years. It's great. Worked with him for a bit, traveled with him for a bit. And I wish all the candidates the best of luck. Creator be with you. And we talk about getting together. That's what, I just got a story here. I don't know how many minutes I got. But me and a guy, he was from Saskatchewan. Always proud to mention his name of what him and I did here. Bob Schumann. We started out with a piece of plywood, water skiing down here in front of Liz Markchuk one Sunday. We did that for over the whole summer. By the end of the summer, you think Liz Markchuk Beach was California Beach. There were so many people there watching us, having fun. So I like to see people get together and include the elders of what we do, of what we're going to do. Always include our elders. And I always say they're the smartest. Always listen to them. Good luck to everyone. Cheese.
Thank you, Carl. So we set the clock. Todd, you're up. The floor is yours.
Good to see you, everybody. This was a very good night. Thank you all for taking the time, especially finally getting some sunshine. And you guys put it aside to come in to listen to us. Jeez. And a shout out to all those guys in TV land. Hey. But I'd just like to reiterate my platform. Like I said, there's all priorities in my book. When I talk about the culture, I'd like to see the language take more of a role in our governments and in our schools, importantly. If we have to reconstruct our education system or our time in school, if we have to change the school schedule to get us more out to the land, to do more immersion, and work with the seasons like who we are as seasonal people. That's something that I'd really like to work with. The other goal I had in mind, or that I would like to implement, is the Dock Games, Southern Games, I call it. And that's where, like we had games in the past, the track and field, building that Dock, where we go to each community each year and play games. But not only will we be practicing our athleticism, we'll be also practicing our Tlingit language. They all got to participate. The economic priority is a big one. We really need to get on the ball with this or it's going to run us over. All the money will come and go. It'll be boom and bust. We'll be left with a bunch of God knows what. We need to really look at that and the impact that it is going to have on us, because there will be an impact on it. There's so much with that economic priority that we have to look at. The well-being of everybody. So when that opportunity is gone, we have people that could stand on their own with trades, that could go to other communities and work. There's so much stuff at hand. One thing that's not to mention too is the food priority. That's something we need to really look at. The tools are there. We have an opportunity to have our own biomass greenhouse that'll run year round. When I talk about habitat and humanity, my thoughts were going up the river or up the lake. Every corner we go around, there's something built there. What happened to just camp it and leave it as is when you go? That's what my granny taught me. You don't have to build it where you go. Leave it as you found it. Preserve it. We're encroaching on those animals. The elders and the youth, big priority. We should be teaching our youth in the classroom that Constitution. They should be learning that, learning from our elders. That'll get us united. That'll teach a young generation who we are, who fought for us. Teach us the skills. If we
need a new mic, Todd.
In the mic, sorry to interrupt you.
With the sickness going on, we need to prepare for that. We should have a first-class facility out in the land so our elders and our youth could go there. If they want to live in a tent frame, so be it. If they want to live in a 5-star apartment out in the land, so we need to protect them, because these diseases are going to get worse. And if we're not prepared for it, it's going to hit us hard. My granny told me prepare for it. We have to prepare for it. The governance, what more can I say? I'm so proud of it. But what a beautiful government. Awesome. If I get elected, we need to have some team building big time. And we need to sit down amongst another once all together and talk about some of the things that are challenging us. I thank you for everybody that's come out tonight. Like I said, I thank the ancestors. If anybody wants to talk, I'll be at my granny's fish pen or I'll be at Lone Tree Creek. You can stop in anytime. I'll share a cup of tea, a piece of bannock. I love you all. It was cheese.
If that happens again, can we please get him a mic? Because I am so worried that nobody online could hear of him.
Okay, yeah, just future, just get it.
His mic kept cutting out is what the problem was.
Okay.
So if that happens again, can we, somebody hand him a mic fast?
Well, my apologies, that was my response. John, you're up next.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you to everyone tonight for showing up, for taking the time of Teslin Council. I strive, I put my name forward. I'm afraid for our clan system. I don't want to lose it. I was raised traditional in this town. I look at this community, our elders, so many have passed, so much knowledge that has gone on. I've been lucky through my one of the first interviews I ever done with Owen Label Johnson. That's where I learned about how we utilize spruce for a spruce root for medicine. There would be more to that story, but I only got 5 minutes. I want to unite our people. We are united. I want to strengthen our people. I don't want to say I want to make them strong because we are strong people. How could we be even stronger? I want to be able to give our people, empower our people with the tools that they need to better their life. I like to see our carvers held up, our sewers, our artists, our language keepers. That's what I would love to see. If I get in, I would love to have somebody working beside me that knows the language and help me to express myself in Tlingit way. The old way. I'd like to see the elders alive right now before they pass. Smile. Smile one day we're conducting all of our business in Tlingit. Imagine that being done. See the federal government, the BC government, try to listen in on us then. I'm educated both mainstream way. I have a good understanding of our agreements. I'm educated the old way. I was brought up the old way. They ask how are we going to get that. I've lived it my whole life. I survived it my whole life. Everything that we have in front of us, we utilize to our potential to get ahead in this modern day and age. Take, for example, this live stream, reaching out to our people. We put together something like this for this. We go back to our stories and we look in our stories, there's a lesson in every one of our stories. And don't be shy to ask about them. I'm lucky, the only reason I know about a lot of our old stories is I got to interview a lot of our elders. I sat down with Sam and his mother, Rosie and David, a long time ago with Hashikun, Neda. Our old people say, Uncle Watson. I've got a lot of knowledge within me, not only myself, All of our people are knowledge carriers. We all have that knowledge. We all understand something different about Tlingit, about the old way. When we unite and come together and we share that information, that's when we become strong. That's when we know that we're going to be all right. And if my comments offended anybody tonight, I'm sorry. Finish.
Thank you, John. Eric, the floor is yours.
I wanted to say that Teslin Tlingit Council is the economic engine for Teslin. Teslin Tlingit Council employs over 100 people. As I mentioned it before, the operating budget for Teslin Tlingit Council last year was like $22 million. And 40% of that was wages and benefits. Went directly to the people that work within Teslin Tlingit Council. Doesn't include what is paid for services outside of that. So it's a huge part of our community. So the important thing that I see that's necessary is that all of the departments and the structures that are within our government work well together. Because the better we can do at what it is that we set ourselves out to do, the more prosperous we'll be able to be. You know, we look at what has been said tonight about the importance of being able to utilize what's available to us. We have places out on our land that are underutilized. We could make more utilization of. We need to support the families that are from Johnstown so that they can begin to develop what they need to develop down there to protect those lands. Not just for themselves, but for the future generations. I remember your sister, Auntie Annie, when she was down there, she was looking at Johnstown. She'd never seen that place in 27 years. And I could see the joy that she had when she first saw it for the first time. That's the importance of being able to maintain that connection to the land. I think about why I do what I do, you know, and I can't help but feel I do it because of my mother and my dad, my grandpa and my grandma, my sisters and my brother, my nephews and their children. I do it because of my clan. I do it because of who I am and where I belong and what I believe I can offer up. My mom used to say, Eric, if those people over there need help, you go over and you help them. Help them best you can. When I look at our government and I look at where I sit, I have something to offer up. I can offer my help, offer my experience, offer the skills that I have to help people to get along. I used to never like it when my mom and dad argued with each other. So I used to always make best efforts to make a fool of myself or create a joke where I could get them to laugh at one another again. As soon as they started smiling at each other again, I was happy once again, comfortable. That's what I want for us, to be able to be that way with each other. You know, I think about my dad, and he used to say, Eric, well, my Uncle George used to tell me, he probably told Sam too. He said, your culture. He said, Uncle George used to tell me, he said, Eric, my dear nephew, he said, you take your culture in your right hand. He said, my dad being right-handed. He said, you take your culture in your right hand and you hold it close to your heart always, because you're going to always need that. Teslin Tlingit Council is about preserving culture. It's about maintaining culture. It's about doing things that help us to keep our culture. That's what we need to look after and help to do, help Teslin Tlingit Council to do. And he used to say, take the white man's way in your left hand. Take what you need from it and use it for yourself, because that's what's going to help you to make it go ahead. And that's what we have to do. Take what the outside world has to offer to us to help us to advance what it is that we're doing as a government. Take pride in who we are. Take pride in where we belong. Take pride in all that we have, because that's what makes us who we are. Part of the land, part of the water. I actually wanted to share with you. When I was a regional chief, the Queen was in Canada, and the Prince of Edinburgh. I actually gave him a book. I bought the book, the Part of the Land, Part of the Water, and I gave it. I didn't give it directly to her, but I did send it so that she could get it. And I didn't expect anything, and so they actually sent me a letter, and I'll just read you quickly this letter. It's dated 21st July 2010. It says, "Dear Mr. Morris, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh have asked me to thank you for a copy of the book, Part of the Land, Part of the Water, which they received during the recent tour of Canada. It was the most thoughtful present. This message comes to you with Her Majesty and His Royal Highness' good wishes. Yours sincerely." It's Edward Young, the Deputy Private Secretary to the Queen.
Thank you, Eric.
Sheesh.
Bob, your last one, at least, your last one.
Okay.
Speeches. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, George. You guys, what a great bunch of fellas up here. You know, terrific answers this evening, and just could you imagine that collaboration of all these guys working together out of the office? All of our citizens here, I bet you every one of you guys can answer those questions, and we all have different ideas and great ideas that we could build on. That's how we're going to unite and become one. We have to continue to listen to our citizens and get back to them and let them hear their point of view. I don't know how, like we can do this of pulling everybody together. We have such strong people. Everybody has a huge strength in a different area that we all have lots to offer. This has been a real emotional journey for me to get even started down this road, because it weighs heavy on me. And, you always wish you could just pick the best team and, and do all the best work. We have the team right here, the team is out there. We have a lot of good people. We just need to let them know that we can hear them. And that's part of what I want to do is when I talk about team building before, when in my opening address, that I've had those opportunities to build huge teams where we did unite and become one. When I had those 200 workers they would come down onto the dam, 5 school buses, and I would get on every one of those school buses and talk to the crew. And we would laugh and giggle and, make jokes, and I would give them their marching orders of what we're gonna do that day or that night at work. And they were happy, you could hear it. And I really believe, I become chief here, I want to be in the community, because I love Teslin too. And I want to be able to go through those departments and go to the houses, listen to the citizens, and get back to them. A lot of them just want to be heard. Hey, I got an idea. And I'm open to hearing ideas. And I have a good record of getting back to our citizens. And when they ask for things, it always can't be just, I'll see what I can do. If I know it's going to be a no, I let them know right away that I'm sorry, it's going to be a no, and here's the reasons why. So I'm not wasting their time, or I'm not trying to string them along. But I will do what, like in a sense, if that's a repeating issue, then what do we need to do to change it? Because we have the solutions. We're under 1,000 people. And these lists are just amazing to really see where a lot of these folks are. I know I don't know a lot of them. And, but I bet you a lot of them know my grandma, Gary. And And that's what makes it so emotional. I've always known when I was young that I was a leader. I started supervising when I was 16 years old. I started taking on projects. I was an equipment operator for my father, who was our boss, and I wanted that job. I wanted to be the boss too. How do I do that? So I learned all the pieces of equipment. 5 years old, I became a general foreman for Turcon Construction in British Columbia. And 200 workers. And some of them weren't acceptable at the beginning. But then they seen how I operate and my style, and we got along, and we just continued building. We built massive projects, and it was a lot of fun. And building this government and the opportunities we have in front of us, and building that is going to be a lot of fun as well, because we have so many opportunities at our hand. Goodness cheese, everyone. Thank you very much. Get out and vote.
So just, sort of a little bit of summary from there about that.
Can you give him the mic? People online can hear you.
So there's a summary tonight. We had, as I said earlier on, we had a lot of participation. We had 43 people here. 8 questions were asked. We had 10 more in the queue for next week. And we had 39 viewers online. That's a lot of interest in your election process. So I congratulate Teslin people for coming out strong for this very important election. I do remind a couple of housekeeping things, just while I got your attention. So 1 week from now, there's another all candidates forum in Whitehorse at Mount McIntyre. It'll be August 26th to next week, 6 to 8 p.m. It will also be live streamed. Hopefully we'll have, hopefully the moderator of that will do a great job with mics. Just to let you know, I will be moderating. You are going to have the pleasure of one of my favorite moderators, Medea Alatini. She will be the moderator for the Whitehorse event. So just a reminder, so the elections are coming up. You have 2 advanced polls, September 1st and 8th. There will be 1 in Teslin here in Recplex, and there will be 1 in Whitehorse at the Quedlin Duncan Cultural Center. And then there's election day, which is September 15th, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the advanced polls are the same, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Again, Recreation Center here in Teslin, and then Whitehorse at the Quedlin Duncan Center. And just a reminder, so there are different ways to cast your ballot. Maybe Chief Electoral Officer Sharon Shorty can explain a little better, but there you can cast your ballot using 5 options: special voting, mail-in voting, proxy voting, advanced voting, and regular voting. And as I said early on, make sure you're on the voters list. You have to go through the registrar for that, verify your mailing address, spread the word, so there's no hiccups at the polling stations. So that's it for the housekeeping. And in closing, I want to thank Sharon Shorty and Ann Turner and Deb Silverfox for organizing the event. I really want to thank the candidates and the audience. They really took Naklahash's words to heart. Everything was done in a very respectful manner, and that made my job a lot easier. And then I do have to apologize for my trying to pronounce Nasha Nahani. Anne did her best. It's the student who's the problem. Me, I'm working on it. So I just want to thank you for coming out, and finally, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to moderate tonight. It was a real pleasure and an honor to do so, and I appreciate patience. So Sharon Shorty wants to say a few words.
Thank you. I'd like to say good cheese to your worship, and your mayor, Gord Curran, your big man, and thank you for moderating tonight. I tried to give him some time to take, so I have a gift for you, but it's just not ready for you right now. I don't know what to do today, but thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And I really want to thank Charles for stepping in and helping so much with the sound and with the time machine. And thank you, Linda, for doing our live stream. Oh, I'll get it straight. Sorry. And DOT for setting everything up. And thank you so much to Teresa Ward, who's moved back to Teslin, and she's Grandma Teresa Catering. And Jay, who was the helper, and of course, my deputies, that's Ann Turner and Deb Silverfox, who should be the best deputies in town. I've been deputizing. But thank you so much. It was a wonderful forum, and look forward to next week, and spread the word, and I hope the Alex will arrive safely, and we'll be at the next one. So, eat one. Have a good night. We've got information at the front table, so come visit us. Today.
I have some information for you.
And they have information for you.